Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel, Rebecca Stew and the Crew. My name is Rebecca, and today we have some DIY ideas for y'all. So let's go over our supplies that we're going to need for our very first craft that we're going to make today. The supplies we'll need are some Dollar Tree placemats. They have all these great fabric placemats that you can choose from to match your kitchen decor. We'll also need a piece of fabric or some ribbon for the hanger, and then we'll need some scissors. You're going to need a safety pin and some elastic and something to either sew with, or you'll need some fabric glue. Either one will work. So what we're going to do is make a bag to store all of those shopping bags that you bring home from the grocery store. I'd love to reuse those in like little trash cans in the bathroom, but there's never anywhere to put them. They're just a mess, and this is a great way to store them without having to spend like $15 for one of these at the store, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. But we're just going to take 2 placemats, and we're going to get rid of that little excess on the edge because it's really thick right there. It makes it hard to sew through because it's lots of layers when you put them together. So then just pull those placemats apart, get rid of all that excess fabric that we're not going to need, and then we're going to relayer our placemats here. And this way we don't have all that excess bulk that we don't need. And see, we're just cutting that little end off where the stitches are. And then you can actually use that as the hanger if you like, if you don't have ribbon that matches. You can do either or. So now what we're going to do is just relayer those placemats, just put them back together. Take your second placemat, and you're going to place it so that they're touching the printed sides together, and then put the back on. When we stitch this together, it's going to be like the bag on the inside already has a lining because we've got that second layer of the dark blue. You can either pin or clip these together, and again, you can use fabric glue. There's fusible web, which you just iron the pieces together to help stick it together, or you can use a needle and thread and hand stitch this together, or if you have a sewing machine, you can use that to do the long sides. You just want to stitch that together, and I'm doing a zigzag stitch, and I am making sure to back stitch at the beginning and the end to lock my stitches in. I just started sewing last year around May. My daughter asked me to help fix her, of all things, her prom dress, which scared me half to death, but it was really late. We couldn't get it altered, and I did that with a $40 sewing machine I picked up, of all places, Aldi. So if I can figure this out, I know you can. I highly encourage you to look on Facebook Marketplace and find a used sewing machine. There's tons out there, and this is the one that I'm using. I picked it up for like $100. It's like a $600 sewing machine. It was practically brand new, so make sure you check that out if you're interested in beginning to learn how to sew like I did. So now that we've got our sides stitched together, we're going to fold the top and the bottom about 1/2 inch to 1 inch so that we can create a little pocket. And this is where our elastic is going to go, so we can gather up that fabric to create the holder for our shopping bags. And again, you can either straight stitch here or you can zigzag stitch. It's really up to you what you prefer. I just already had on the zigzag stitch. I kind of forgot it was on that, so I just left it on the zigzag stitch. And we're going to leave this little pocket open about 1 inch in one spot so that we can get our elastic up inside of there, and then we'll stitch it closed once we have the elastic inside. But you want to leave that little space open so you can get it up inside of there. So in that little open spot, we just put a safety pin on our elastic, and we're going to fish that up into that pocket until we get it all the way out to the other side. And as you can see, Ranger always has to come help. He's going to hold that bag down for me. Look at him. He's just hard at work helping me. He's always got to be where I'm at, and he loves to lay on top of anything I'm working on. He just loves attention, as you can see. But we're just going to finish fishing that elastic through. Once you get the elastic all the way through the other side, just pull it tight until you have about a 4-inch opening that you can stretch easily with your fingers so that you'll be able to get the bags in and out easily. I always leave the top a little bit wider, and at the bottom where the bags come out, I do tie that off a little bit tighter just so the bags aren't falling out real easy, or I don't have cats stealing them out of the bag because I like the rustling sound. But you just want to tie that off in a knot. If you want to stitch over top of your elastic, you can do that. I don't think it's necessary. Just tie it in a knot like 3 or 4 times. And then once you have that knot tied really well, cut off the excess elastic and then just kind of pull on all the fabric that you gathered together, and that knot will pop up into that pocket and you won't even see it. And that'll make it nice and easy for you to stitch that 1 inch portion that you left open. You'll be able to stitch that closed so we don't have a bunch of fraying of the material once the bag's been in use. But you can see I just tied off really, really well right here, and then just cut that excess elastic off. You probably cut this a little bigger than I needed to, but just makes it easier to get it through that little pocket there. And here I am just stitching that little opening closed so that we don't have any fraying of the material once we're pulling bags in and out over time. And this is almost done already. So we just do the same thing to the top as we did to the bottom. And then all that's really left to do is to add the hanger so that we're able to hang it on like a doorknob, a hook in a utility closet. You can hang it on a cabinet handle if you like, anywhere really that you want to be able to have easy reach to get your bags out. So I actually took a lighter to the end of the ribbon to make sure it didn't fray. And then I just loop it over, I pin it in place and do a straight stitch. Just flip the whole bag right side and then stuff your bags in from the top, and you can see you just easily pull one bag out at a time from the bottom. And now I don't have bags stuffed in drawers and all over the kitchen or all stuffed into another shopping bag. I made this fun lemon one, and then this was made from a bandana that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. So there's lots of ways you can make those. So now for our Dollar Tree DIY number 2. A while back we made this diamond dot, just a review video to see how these kits held up, how they worked from the Dollar Tree. And I love it so much, but I was just kind of just sitting there. I didn't really have a frame that would fit it. But I have these really cute decorative frames that you can DIY from the Dollar Tree. And so I thought, you know what, maybe I'll just cut this down and put it in the frame. So I wanted to show you guys what I did with that. So you can kind of see the flower through the frame. I was hoping I could actually have the whole thing pop up through all those little scrolled, really pretty decorative frame pieces, but it was a tad too small and I just couldn't make it work. So I decided just to trim the excess diamond dot pieces off. And so I just trace around where I want the flower to be. And if you have a good pair of scissors, like a nice sharp pair, don't use your best scissors, but a nice sharp pair of scissors, it'll cut right through those little tiny plastic diamond dots that you put on your thing. And you can see how well that this product actually holds up, because as I'm cutting through it with scissors, you don't see like the diamonds flying off anywhere. It really sticks really well, and it's a great project to do for like a quick afternoon craft. Those diamond dots, I think they're really fun, and like I said, it holds up really well. I love the way it turned out. For $1.25, you really can't beat the price for an afternoon project. So we'll just kind of toss those excess pieces out. I needed something a little bit stronger to help hold it up. So I cut a piece of cardboard a little bit larger so it will fit on the frame right there. And then I just trace around it with my pencil so I know where to glue the diamond dot piece on, and leaving the excess spot at the edges so that I'm able to glue that to the frame, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of centering it on the piece of cardboard, and I just used hot glue to glue this down to the cardboard. That seemed to work out really well. It didn't seem bumpy or anything like that. You couldn't tell it was hot glue. So we'll just stick that down to the cardboard, and then we'll add some more glue to the edges of the cardboard, and we'll put that right on the frame. If you want to, you can paint or decorate the frame before you put the picture on. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I was using a stain furniture marker to stain the frame, so that's probably why I didn't think to do the frame first. But you can paint, if you want to paint it, definitely paint it before you put the diamond dot into the frame. I think that would work out better, and then you don't have to be extra careful that you're not getting paint on the diamond dot. It looks really nice just with the natural color frame, but I love these furniture scratch markers. The oak color is always so pretty, and it's so easy to stain something easy like a frame like this. It's just a couple of minutes, it's done, it's dry, you don't have to wait, and it's always so pretty when it's finished. So I just do the whole frame with this oak color, and that is it. Just a way to show off all the work that you did with your little diamond dots. And this sunflower I think is so pretty. I can't wait for like late summer, early fall to set this out with all my little pumpkins and my scarecrows. I think it will be really cute. So then we'll just skip ahead a little bit here. So here's the frame all finished. You can see the diamond dots up close, how pretty those are. And that's it, just a very simple DIY. Wanted to kind of put this together. I just saw it sitting there and I was like, why not? So now for our third and final DIY today. This is a little out of season. I picked up this DIY layered art from the Dollar Tree before Christmas, and I did the craft. I just never had time to put it together, but I'm going to show you guys what I did. So I took these chopping mats and I just traced around the outside edge of the layers and used a pencil, and I'm just going to cut that out with some scissors, and then we're going to make a really cute kind of winter scene. Now they do have other scenes that you can purchase, which is why I was like, I know this is a winter one, but I'm going to show you guys how you can kind of close it up. There's no edges around the outside of this project. I'm going to show you guys how I closed mine up and made it a whole entire, almost like a lighted layered shadow box instead of the opened layered art look that it kind of comes with. But they have like one that has like a lake with a bird in it. And there's a couple different ones. There's like a hummingbird. So there are other ones that you could purchase. You don't have to get just the wintry scene. And I just made this look like winter. It doesn't actually have to be winter just because there's mountains and a deer. You can definitely just make it look like an outdoorsy kind of like adventure awaits type of craft project. But I just did a really light stain. This is like a burnt wood look. So once it dries, it kind of looks like a light gray color once it's completely dry. And I did two of them in the dark black, and then the very last layer I did white in the back, so you'd be able to still see the deer and stuff once you put it all together. If I did the whole thing black, you wouldn't be able to see it. It would just blend in. Now the very back of it I did black, so it was black all the way around, which you'll see when I put it together. But for the inside portion, the last layer, you're going to want to do in a lighter color if you close it off like this. So I just let the whole thing dry. So we've got our layered pieces, and then there's the back and then the stand. The first piece, like at first I was doing both sides. I was like, you're not going to see it. So I don't know why I was doing both sides. So now I'm going to take just a small craft stick. I'm actually measuring where all the openings are that these are going to pop into when we stand them up. And this is going to help me know how wide I need to cut these little pieces of wood to create the border, which closes this whole thing off. So it's about 1 inch. And I'm just taking the larger craft sticks, marking it, and then I'm just going to cut those down with a pair of scissors to create this border that I'm going to put on it. So we're just going to use an old pair of scissors and just very quickly cut through and make about 1 inch pieces as close as I can get. They don't have to be exactly even. It's okay if it hangs over a little bit because we're going to be using like twine and stuff to decorate it with. So you're not going to be able to tell if it hangs over the edge just a tad. But you're going to want to cut a bunch of these. I think I used like 6 craft sticks and it was enough to go around the whole outside border. So now we're going to start putting this together. So I have this 3-in-1 glue. You can use hot glue if you like. I just kind of had this out, which is why I grabbed it. And we're just going to first put the cutting mat on the front layer. And then this is the second layer. I actually cut it a little bit smaller and then just glued that piece in. So we have the layered clear, almost like a fake glass. And I'm using a paintbrush to go through and clean up any glue that is kind of oozed out a little bit because I don't want that to dry and be able to see it. So now for the edge that we're going to put around this whole project, we're going to take a long piece of ribbon and we're just going to start gluing all of these 1-inch pieces that we cut from the craft sticks. We're going to glue those all together in a long line. And because the ribbon is flexible and we have these spaces between each piece of wood, we're going to be able to bend it. And that will create the border for our picture that we're making here. You can see how easy it bends. And again, it's a little uneven. That's okay. I probably could have used a straight edge to line them up a little bit better. But like I said, I knew I was using twine at the end and it wasn't really going to show. So it didn't matter all that much. And I made it a little bit longer than I needed it to be, which was okay as well because you could always cut it down. It's always better to have a little bit more than not enough and then have to go back and try to piece it together. So I'm a hairdresser, so our thing is that we always say is we could always take more off, but you can't put it back on. So that's my motto. Okay, so now we're going to take a 10 pack of these little miniature lights from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to staple this to the background. I just open up the staple and it goes right through that wood, which is super easy. And we're just kind of making it in a circular pattern to get all of our little twinkly lights like stars in the background. And you want to make sure that when you end, the wire for the end is at the bottom, so you can easily put this on the back. And I'm just using some double-sided tape. I found this over in the automotive section where they keep all like the painter's tape and things like that. It's that double-sided like mounting wall tape. And I glued the battery door to the back. Make sure you glue it so that you can take the door off and change the batteries if you need to. And you can also staple the wire to the back to make sure that it stays in place. I added a little tiny dot of glue to the bottom tabs so I can glue this into the base and make sure it's not going to fall out or knock over. And this helps it to stand up a little bit more even as well, because they tend to want to flop forward just a little bit. And basically, once you put the third piece in, this is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. I just did not like the fact that the whole sides were open, which is where I came up with the idea to use the ribbon with the craft sticks to create that border. We've got all three pieces in. So now what I'm going to do is just take a tumbling tower block, kind of like the generic Jenga blocks that Dollar Tree sells. I'm going to place one between each layer so they're equally spaced open, and that helped to hold it together while I glued this onto the edges. And I just put glue right on the edges and just wrapped it around, held it in place for a few seconds while it grabbed. And then I went back in with that stain I used for the outside in all the layers, and I just stained the border. I should have stained it before I put it on. I don't do these crafts before I film them, so sometimes I'm always like, oh, I should have done that first. So I'm letting you guys know, if you do this, stain it first, then put it on. It just makes it so much easier. Okay, so we've got that whole piece put together, and now this is the twine I was talking about. We're just going to do along the edge here, all the way around the outside edge, and that just hides like any glue and any rough edges, and just kind of ties it all together with that nice natural look. Then I had this Deco Art Snow Text. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It's basically like a layered snow. Since this was like a Christmas kind of winter project that I was making, I put this really fun, like thick, snowy layer at the top on the edges just to make it look like snow had fallen onto it. And then I put a little bit on the branches of the tree, a little bit at the bottom, and I took a little bit of greenery. There's like those wire ties with the greenery on it. And I cut that down. I put that at the bottom. I made a very simple little twine bow with a couple of those glittery pom-poms, berries, and pine cones. I just kind of glued that all around the base to decorate the base a little bit. And I just attached those with some hot glue. Now that fake snow that I put on, that took about 24 hours to dry. And then I went back in and decorated the rest of this. But again, they sell other ones that you don't have to do winter. They have like really pretty summer themes, but I thought that would be really cute to do more of like a shadow box look. You can see how cute it looks like the stars are kind of glowing in the background. We've got our little snowy effect at the top. So if you can find some of those summer scenes, I would love to see the ideas that you guys come up with to kind of do the same thing, make it more of like a shadow box. So that was the idea I came up with. Just ran out of time before Christmas to post it. That tends to happen sometimes. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video, share the video. There's also a new hype button. You can follow us also on different platforms at Rebecca Stew and the Crew. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day.